Greetings from beyond, far above, sideways, in any imaginable way. I'm here for the following reason. You've found me. Now I'm talking to you. This topic is about the 5 planets in retrograde. I won't name them all. You can Google that in the astrology reports. We have 5 planets, pardon me, that are in retrograde right now. Now, what does that mean? With all the downloads coming in, this is about relationships, relating to one another, business. What does a retrograde mean? Back trace your steps. Go back. How was your life, let's say the last 7 years or 5 years? Back trace. Look at your life in truth. Evaluate the steps you have taken until now. Compare towards what steps will you take. What direction is advisable for you? What is the best advice for you in this situation now? Simple equation is the human race has a weakness. Call it humanism. Call it how we design our lives, not knowing what we are designing ultimately. So, we are very good in avoiding and denying, not being confrontational, not seeking conflict, not looking at the picture of you all on a planet that's based on dualistic principles. So your mind has to be wise. Are you in a prison of the mind and you see no way out of what you have created because you can't look beyond the choices you make and yourself? Or are you in the prism of the mind, meaning you refract and reflect back out from the reflections in your life, the way out as you shine your light? That is not only meaning you shine bright because you're a bright being. That actually ultimately means you're defined by your actions, not by your words. You see, the spiritual and wellness coaching, positive thinking, training industry lives of a lot of people that are basing their lifestyle on theoretical thinking. That means, theoretical means you're in a theta brainwave, if I'm wording this correctly, and it gets deeper. And you're not in the creational mode where you go from theta and then you switch into delta and you become actually calm and you manifest, you create, you generate, you bring into form. The problem with a lot of people is was, will be, can be, or can be dissolved, depending on how you look at it, is, well, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to do all the great things that are all based in material, but what is the purpose for you to be that? What is the equation for your higher mind, higher self, and your soul embodied in the flesh to become that? And then what are you doing with that? So the new wave pattern, as in the 5 planets in retrograde, are forcing us for the next 3 weeks, go within and retrace your steps, because it's about conscious capital. It is about spiritual capital. It is about conscious choices with monetary income or residual income on a conscious wave pattern being created that you can then transform into an energy and give back to the planet. If somebody says, I get my house, I get my Lamborghini, I get rich, I don't care, I don't give anything back to the planet, I don't want to plant any plants, I don't care about the Amazon forest, and well, there is a price. Right now, there's no way around, as in the theme is get your together. You need to perform now in purity. Now, as your light frequency is, increasing at an exponential rate. You have these little cogwheels of systemic self-programming. And when you get pure, guess what? You're fine, you're in bliss, you enjoy life. And if a crumb of an untruth, of non-integral thought structure enters that, guess what happens to these little cogwheels? Your entire system gets disrupted. It can be very upsetting. So for those that say you have talks with your partner or partners or relationships, and it doesn't matter what status that is. It should be transparent. It should be open by any means. However that is practiced, that is up to the individual. See as an openness as in how you communicate. So by that doesn't mean open this, that, and the other. It also means open communication, speaking the truth, really saying what is being felt. Also, accepting the consequence that if you speak your truth of how you feel, then face the consequence of the other's choices. So don't fear if you say, well, this is what I did and this is what I feel like doing. Sorry, I haven't told you before. Now I'm telling you, this is overall more me. And then the other person has a chance to go either in defense or sit down. Powwow it out. I say to all of those that matters, sit it out in truth. Powwow it out. Green it out. Be at peace. Communicate and say what is really going on. This matter is about your freedom, but not in an egotistical sense of you can do what you want to do, because you cannot do what you want to do. You're here to do what you are divinely capable of doing and you should be doing. That's being in your purpose. You cannot, and this is a little bit of a reality check, you cannot run up on a podium saying, well, I'm lying to my boss and, I'm skimming some money here, but I'm being successful. Everybody loves me because I keep up the mask and I'm in my purpose because I believe that I'm in my purpose. That is a lie. That is not the reality. The reality is, what are you doing? Can you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I speak my truth to me, myself, my partner, my family, or whoever I'm with every day? Or am I, and that's what our government has taught us pretty well, is on a need-to-know basis. Meaning that we're running these excuses that, well, you didn't ask me that specifically, so I didn't feel like I had to tell you that. Well, that is withholding information that gives the other person the freedom to make a choice if they are in agreement with the reality that you're producing. So 5 planets in retrograde, meaning really use all your 5 senses from 3D, retrace your steps, go back, recalibrate, correct your life. You want to be in bliss, you want to be successful, you want to live it all, you want to live it all out, you want to have it all, then be in truth. Don't avoid what needs to be structured. Don't go around what's coming at you, because it's kind of like Pac-Man, but it's more like the Pac-Man. It's not the positive Pac-Man inside of your energy core, and it eats away your life source. It eats away your life force. So if you have a good friend, your friend is in integrity, but you are not. That's not a friendship that is based on loyalty, love, and integrity, and that's the truth. Everybody runs around with these words and these labels, authenticity, accountability, self-responsibility, transparency, and all of those words. Words are images that stay. What you have to look at is, what is the person doing? Goes back to the native teachings. I'm part native also. Your action defines your character, and your character defines your destiny, and thus if you create karma or not. We have an Arcturian aspect on what karma looks like. Karma could be cause and effect, causal layer, effectual layer. If you hide something here, that means you're stealing information, and you put it here, and you add what they call the wide lies to it to protect that information. But guess what? Your body is running a charge to protect something that is hidden in untruth, that is not of the light. It doesn't make it demonic. It is just simply not of the light. So when you have that, and you go to bed with that charge need to be sustained. So you need to create other lies to sustain that lie that makes it okay for you to lie. You understand? So in your mind, you have the ego, energy guided out. Can also be the egi, energy guided inward. You look at something that you, let's say, lied about, and then you created something to sustain that. It's like you steal from the dark realm another thought form, which is an entity that says it's okay. It's okay. And as long as you can hide that and get away with it, well, the ego thinks, well, it's okay. It's apparently working. Apparently, so it seems. And that is the grand illusion, the grand deception, is you're at war with yourself. You have created an enemy within that you're feeding, because the enemy is the enemy. The lie is a lie. Truth is truth and lie is lie. There is no gray zone. White lies are here to create these gray zones is also an illusion. It is not real. Reality check is, what are you doing with your life, in your life, how you take in, how you process, how you project outward. If you eat something that is rotten as a thought, well, you become that. If you want to protect that, like the rotten apple, you're adding more rotten apples to the pile. That doesn't make your pile better. If you go to the market, which is the ascension game, and the truth, and apples are being sold, and you're sitting there with a basket of rotten apples, it is visible to the surface, you will have no customers. As in future business, as our business moves from the material world to cyberspace, as in the immaterial world, where cash becomes numbers and digits, we're learning to be self-responsible with that. And in a timely fashion, operating in truth with that. So the retrograde forces you to go deep within, really self-analyze. What are you doing? Are you living in truth? Where are you losing energy? Where are you happy? Or what's the price for happiness? There shouldn't be a price. That should be infinite, and it should be free, and you should come out that without having to go from one place you had happiness, you go to another place for something. It should be clear. The air should be clear. Your feelings should be clear. And this is, to sum it up, what it comes down to right now. What do you feel with the actions that you do? And when you meditate, sit with yourself and see how that re-emerges and come back. How is that communicating with you? And what does that do for you? And where does that go for you? How do you combine what you do? So if you want to be successful, the first thing you have to do, you want to be in purpose and be successful step by step, and it's hard work. I'm going through it. Everybody else has to go through it. We have created these modalities around us to learn this. That's why our soul came here. You can't blame this, that, or the other. Blame the individual that misuses the tool, whether it's security, whether it's surveillance, whether it's cash or governmental, whatever you do. The misuse is done by humankind. The misuse is not in the law itself. And any law that needs to be enforced is weak, because you need to enforce it based on fear to make people believe that this is a law. We're supposed to be living by laws, folklore, fairy lore, gnome lore. All of these ancient tales show us what to do and what not to do. We know it. And we know when you sneak around the corner or you're hiding something, you carry it, because you are also, like God, all-knowing. But we're very good in compartmentalizing ourselves, hiding ourselves within ourselves, limiting ourselves with false masks and entities that we call in to portray something that we're not. Look at Facebook, look at people's lifestyle, a lot of portrayal and pretentious behavior that is not the real you. When the camera's off, when the Facebook is off, the MySpace, your face, his face, all of that stuff is gone, and you're in here, unscripted, like I am in front of the camera. That is when the rubber meets the road, and then we'll see who we are talking to and who we are dealing with in reality and in truth. And that shakes to the core. And the best thing with this retrograde thing that's happening right now is buffer it. Don't let the wave of truth come at you. Now, could you imagine that one day everybody's going to be telepathic and everybody will know roughly in their circles what everybody else is doing? No more lies, because we're telepathic, we're telepathic, everything will be known. Do you want to tell the truth before that is known? You want to wait to the day until Ish hits the fan and it's all splurge and everybody cries, like they said, knees will be bent in a day? Or will you do your best within your work and your craft right now to clear things up and be clear with that? Watch also the levels of energies that you have in the heart energy right now. Stay a little bit conserved with your life force battery for the next 3 weeks and reevaluate options in life and lifestyle and what you want to do and where you want to go. And if you have to lose it all, then it's already written in stone. There's nothing you can do. You can only elongate the pain by keeping your hand tucked to the blade and still licking your own blood. Or you can decide, okay, I'm untucking this. I speak my truth. This is what I've done. This is what I want to continue doing. And now I'm ready to be judged or crucified. And whoever is not ready to process your process will walk away. Guess what? Let them walk away. Those who are ready to process you will sit with you, powwow it out, in truth, in love, in all openness, come together and find a common denominator to find a solution for what is not a problem, it's just a challenge. So reality check is, do not add to the picture or take away. See it for what it is, face your true self, face your fears, nobody's going to die, and move on into your abundant success, which you are destined to inherit. That is what you're here to do. And this message was for you about the 5 planets in retrograde and what you should do right now with yourself, reevaluating, recalibrating the self. And I see you most definitely on the flip side.